Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Jones, Deputy Chief of Staff for Dr. Ball. Thanks for joining the County Executive's Paycheck Protection Program webinar this afternoon. First, we will hear from the County Executive, and then we will have brief presentations from our panelists. We have the Small Business Administration, MNT Bank, Howard County Economic Development Authority, SCORE, and Small Business Development Center. We will then open it up for questions. If you do have a question, just put it in the chat, and then when we get to Q&A, we will get to your questions at that time. Now I will turn it over to the County Executive.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you joining us. Also want to especially thank MNT Bank, our Economic Development Authority, the Small Business Administration, the Small Business Development Center, and SCORE for being on the panel. Over the last 11 months, we've seen our business community adapt and work through the challenges of this pandemic. Howard County is home to more than 10,000 businesses, with approximately 86% representing companies with fewer than 10 employees, many of which were the hardest hit. Last week, the Biden-Harris administration paused the Paycheck Protection Program for businesses with more than 20 employees in an effort to give more loans to our very small businesses. From February 24th through March 10th, 2021, SBA will only offer PPP loans to businesses with fewer than 20 employees and sole proprietors. This 2-week moratorium on larger applicants enables lenders to get the word out that there's still over $100 billion available for PPP loans. Plus, our lenders will have more time to work with small businesses who may need greater assistance. Additionally, the county has worked continuously with our federal and state partners to provide support to our small businesses to continue to thrive. Since July, we provided more than $13.5 million in CARES Act funding to our restaurants, small retailers, farms, hotels, live venues, and child care providers. Applications for an additional $5 million in funding has now been extended to this week, March 5th. That's Friday, March 5th, this week. This funding support includes $2 million in county funding to support our small local businesses in Howard County, $1.5 million in state funding for our restaurants, and $1.6 million in state funding for our hotels. It's important for small businesses to have what they need during this pandemic. And while we know this year has been exhausting, I'm confident that we will get through this together. Thank you.
Thank you, County Executive. And so now we'll turn it over to Mike Collins from the Small Business Administration. Mike.
Thank you, Dr. Ball. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. I think we're going to do a slide sharing here. Yep, looks like we're getting our slide deck up here. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to tune into this. It's a lot of good, very important information coming up. We're going to have a slide deck. Here we go. Excellent. So what we have going on is multiple, I guess, iterations of the PPP program, as Dr. Ball alluded to just a bit ago. For a 2-week period, I'll get to that in just a minute. So we've got the relaunch of the PPP that started January 14th. Next slide, please. We're going to go over where we are, key dates. We're going to go over first and second draws, forgiveness, and what to do now. Next slide, please. So in terms of where we are now, PPP was initially opened with community financial institutions. They were small CDFIs, and the intent was the issue that we ran into on the first set of PPP, the first round of PPP funding, was that a lot of small community banks were having issues getting their loans submitted to SBA because some of the larger banks had batch files going in as many as 5,000 applications at a time, so it created a bit of a logjam. So when we opened the PPP funding this time, we had about a 2-week window where only small community financial institutions serving small community businesses were able to go in first. And that was the idea, to give those small underserved markets a way to get their loan applications in ahead of when the big batches started to show up again. Thank you, Rosa. You're a mind reader. Paycheck Protection Program gives between 8 and 24 weeks of a forgiveness period. For your payroll piece, it's got to be a minimum of 60% payroll. Forgiveness will be reduced, this is important, if full-time headcount drops or if salaries and wages decline. Okay, so the forgiveness piece is only contingent upon the payroll portion being a minimum of 60%, and as we said here. The remaining loan balance is a 5-year term, and it's got a 1% interest rate. Next slide, please. So in order to get a PPP second draw, you have to have gotten a PPP first draw. It seems like it would go without saying, but that's one of the issues. Applicants must apply before March 31st, or until the congressional appropriation that, again, Dr. Ball mentioned earlier, expires. So far, we have over $100 billion left, so we're in good shape on that front. There may be, this is important. Sorry, Rosa. There may be just one point about the first draw and the possibility to increase. Rosa, can you back up? Thank you. Second to the last bullet there, certain borrowers may request an increase in their original PPP loan amount. So one situation that we ran into because of seasonalities of certain businesses, just picture like a boardwalk t-shirt shop, for instance, and if they were to have gone out and gotten a PPP loan in April of last year, they wouldn't have had the full run of their business to look at. So they probably got a PPP loan that was significantly smaller than it should have been based on they hadn't gone through the bulk of their business yet. When we look at that, you have the ability now to increase the first draw of the PPP loan. So before you get the second draw, you should consider going back to your, if you're in that situation and you're eligible for more money because your PPP loan amount was based on not a full year, you have the opportunity to go back and increase your first PPP loan amount. If your lender is not participating in the PPP loan increase, and some lenders aren't, then you can have your loan transferred to a different lender and have that increase done and then still get in for the PPP second draw. So that's just a point of interest. Anyone that has questions about this, please reach out to me at the end. My contact information will be up. Next slide, please. So newly eligible, we've got housing co-ops, we've got certain 501c6s, destination marketing orgs, and eligible news orgs. And then still eligible business entities, for-profit businesses, as well as 501c3 and C19 nonprofits and travel businesses. Next slide. The gist of this next slide is this: you have to, at some point between 2019 and 2020, be able to demonstrate a 25% decrease in one of those quarters. Okay, so that's what's going to make you eligible. That's kind of the gist of that. Next slide, please. Regarding additional criteria, you must have received the PPP first draw again in order to be eligible for the PPP second draw. Have no more than 300 employees and demonstrate that 25% drop in any one quarter, comparable quarter. It's got to be a comparable quarter, quarter over quarter. So third quarter to third quarter, that sort of thing. Next slide, please. Business owners must apply for forgiveness through their lender. We get calls all day, every day, asking about forgiveness. That application has got to go through the lender. The lenders submit the business borrower forgiveness decision to the SBA. Okay, so the lender determines whether it's eligible for forgiveness, and they submit their decision to the SBA. Many lenders are a little bit fuzzy on that, and so we get a lot of calls that are sort of contrary to it, but the fact is that the lenders make the decision on whether it's forgivable. Idle loans are no longer deducted from the forgiveness payment. That was something we did initially, but we're not doing now. PPP loan forgiveness is not taxable. Consult your IRS person for details. And there is an expanded PPP for loans not forgiven, not already forgiven. Coming soon, we've got the simplified PPP forgiveness. Right now, it's at 50,000, and it's being expanded, as I understand it, to under 150,000. Next slide, please. The thing you want to do is to contact your lender. If you don't have a lender, go to sba.gov/lender match. Additional resources, sba.gov local assistance, that'll get you our office, the Baltimore District office. And then be sure to subscribe to our newsletters, sba.gov/updates. You can also get us on Twitter, Baltimore_DO at sba.gov. Or you can call our office at the number on the screen. Next slide, please. Economic injury disaster loans are something I highly recommend any business to have. Even if the businesses are thriving in this environment, it is absolutely important that I think a good idea to go get an EIDL loan, EIDL loan. They are eligible. They're 30-year fixed loans for 3.75% or 2.75 if you're a nonprofit, and they're 30-year terms. Next slide, please. Again, long interest working capital loans just for you to use to operate your business with. All Maryland small businesses are eligible to apply, and the deadline is December 31st of 2021. Next slide. You can apply online at the email address or call 800-659-2955. Next slide, please. Counseling and training. We will defer for just a moment to our SCORE and SBDC people. I don't think we have a Women's Small Business Center or a Veterans Business Outreach, but there is contact information for additional resources. These are our boots on the ground type folks who are available to provide free business counseling and training for you as a business owner. Super important. Please share the slide deck with the participants when we're done. Next slide, please. All right, that's all we got. Any questions?
We'll take questions at the end. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Sorry. Thanks, Jennifer.
All right, so now we'll turn it over to M&T Bank. We have Deetra Miller, who's regional manager, and Rosa Scharf, who's the vice president.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much to Dr. Ball and Jennifer for allowing us to partner with you all today. We're really excited to be here just to talk about the Paycheck Protection Program. So my name is Deetra. I work for M&T Bank. I'm one of the regional managers here in the Baltimore area, and we specifically created a team about a year and a half ago to better support minority and women-owned businesses on their journey of entrepreneurship. And unfortunately, we know all the statistics around, people of color and women in business and just the obstacles that they have to overcome. So we were trying to be really proactive almost 2 years ago in saying, how can we better support? What if we can put together an ecosystem of resources to better support businesses along their journey? We've been really proud of the work that we've done so far. Now, fast forward to now where we are. Unfortunately, we could have never imagined that we'd be at this point, but now we know how crucial having a very pinpointed focus in supporting people of color, minority-owned businesses, and women on their journey. So really excited to be here today, doing events like this, working with offices similar to Dr. Ball's office around the state of Maryland, also creating a really nice structure across our footprint to better support minority women-owned businesses. In terms of the PPP, we're really proud of what we've done here at MNT. We got off in a quick start when the PPP came out because we know that small businesses are the economic engine for the U.S. economy. So we took a small team of SBA lenders at MNT. We had a small team of about 20 as one of the #1 preferred SBA lenders in the country, and we expanded that team to over 2,000 employees because we knew how serious this was to make sure that we can give relief to small businesses across the footprint. And just to give you some numbers, in the first round, we were able to give out 35,000 PPP loans that totaled about $7 billion. When we look at just the Baltimore region, we did about 7,000 loans for about $1.3 billion. And the average, we helped 92% of the loan applications for across the entire footprint were for businesses that had fewer than 50 employees. So right there, it goes to show you just how much we know that our small businesses need our assistance, and we're really focused on helping small businesses. In this current round, we again got out the gate pretty quickly. We received about 18,000 applications so far as of last Monday, and for about $2.4 billion. When we look at the Baltimore market, that's a little under 4,000 applications for about $400 million, supporting almost 53,000 jobs in the greater Baltimore market. So again, just really, really important to us. And what's really exciting to us this time, we had a huge focus in the first round supporting MNT clients. And what we're really proud of, because we did such a great job last time with the Paycheck Protection Program, now we're opened up to any small business. So all you have to do is just open up an account with us, and you can apply same day for the Paycheck Protection Program. I know there were so many people, Rosa and I, we have the pleasure of working together every day, really closely every day with other members of our team. We just heard so many sad stories about small business owners that didn't have anywhere to go to get support. So we knew that this time around, we were blessed to have more funding go out to help small businesses, but we really wanted to make sure that we were finding ways to support not just our customers, but other small businesses in the community that may be suffering. So we are open now. We are also making a slight change so that you can actually go right online. You don't even have to go into a branch and work with one of our branch partners to open an account. We're going to be able to go online, open up an account, and apply same day. So we're really, really excited for that because we know there's so many more people that are out there that need help. We're also really excited about the changes that were recently made that Mike and Dr. Ball went over earlier to really help those smaller businesses. So we would ask for all of you, if you are struggling, we're going to provide our information. If you are struggling, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we do every single day, is have conversations and really be a support system to all of you amazing small business owners out there. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We're going to share information, and looking forward to working with those of you that still need help. Rosa, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Deidre. That was great. I do want to share, and again, we will share all these slides with fun, but we had, let me find it, some infographics, a lot of the same information that Mike, so I'm sorry, I can't put my hands on it. So I'm just going to speak to it in general. We will provide, a lot of this is on the mtb.com under the Paycheck Protection. But I think just important notes to drive home. Yes, there are some current changes to the legislation, which are allowing small businesses defined as 20 employees or less to apply only for PPP loans for a specific time. So, and some of the rules in terms of the calculation, so Mike was showing, the 25% reduction. There was rules about self-employed or 1099. The way you calculate that will be a little bit different. Unfortunately, we're still waiting for specific guidelines on that. So as soon as that comes out, we'll update our website and the calculation, but understand that that's part of it. You can still, like Mike said, do a first draw if you didn't get it the first time, or a second draw PPP loan. And the biggest difference between the two is that if it is a second draw, so if you applied in the spring and you're applying now, you have to show that 25% reduction in income. And that can be quarter to quarter kind of a drop. I apologize for not being able to pull up, but people have different questions, but a lot of it was repetitive from Mike's presentation. So I know we want to key in on letting folks have time for questions, so we'll address that. And like I said, we'll make sure to share the information.
Thanks, Deidre and Rosa. Appreciate all the great information. Next, we're going to go to Larry Tweel. He's our CEO of our Economic Development Authority, and he's going to talk a little bit about our HoCoRise Grants and about how he also works with this program.
Here we go. All right, thanks, thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, before I get started, I just want to give you a brief overview of the Innovation Center. I did want to just touch on the HoCoRise Grants. The application for those County Executive mentioned is being extended through the end of this week. So if you are a restaurant, a hotel, or a small business owner, please, I put the link into the chat. Tina asked a little bit earlier. So if you scroll up in the chat, you'll see the link for those grants. And your home-based business, or if you have not previously received funding assistance through the HoCoRise initiative, please apply there, and we will take care of you. So with that, I'm going to jump into my presentation. Just want to give you a quick overview of the Maryland Innovation Center and some of the resources that we provide there through support of the county. Oops, there we go. How's that better? All right, and through support of the county, we were able to establish the Maryland Innovation Center in the Columbia Gateway Business Park. Doesn't seem like that long ago when the county executive cleared some hurdles for us to allow us to begin construction, and we were taking hard hat tours of the space, and we wrapped up construction at the beginning of last year. And as you can see, we are haven't quite had our grand opening yet, but we are in there, and we've got a lot of amenities for use for our resident companies, but also our affiliate companies who are they don't have an office space there, but are part of our program and mentoring that happens as part of our services there. So you're certainly welcome to use it. I just want to give you a glimpse of what the final construction has looked like. We are ready for business as soon as we're able to all get back into the same room together. We have training rooms, conference center facilities, executive boardrooms, and we'll be hosting our programs in the center hopefully soon. But essentially, we offer front desk services, conference and huddle rooms, mailboxes, internet, and we plug you into the network of mentoring and other companies to really get you, finding the partners that you need, the customers that you need, and the expertise mentoring that you need. We have a variety of resident companies that are there. These are small startup companies. They run the gamut from technology, cybersecurity, healthcare, some nonprofits, product companies. We are home to 27 small startup companies and 19 affiliate companies who are, like I said, they don't have office space there, but they use the products and services that we have there. And we have an entrepreneur in residence who mentors all of these companies through their milestones so that they can graduate out and take space in the into the commercial market. We have a variety of partners. Most importantly, what the center is for is, our startup companies are there. We try to get them started, but it is a service and a center for existing businesses in the community. And we have a variety of partners that we've brought in to be that resource to help your business grow. And we point you in the right direction. One of the products I'd like to talk to you about is our Catalyst Fund. We are one of 8 fund managers across the state that manage a fund that is funded by the video lottery terminal revenue from the state. And it is specifically designed for small minority and veteran-owned businesses. And we have been running this program since about the middle of 2014. We've approved 72 loans and have deployed over $12 million and gotten it into the hands of small businesses. So, you know, it's another product out there. It's not meant to compete with the commercial lenders, but meant to be a bridge to get, you know, money into the hands of small businesses as they, you know, grow through their life cycle. Another important part of the Maryland Innovation Center is our partners on the first floor. Howard Community College has their Training and Development Solutions Center there. This is customized workforce training for your business, and they're an important part of our center as well. Another important part of our center, though, I was talking about partners that we've brought in to help our existing businesses, and you're going to hear from two of these folks in a few moments. We have the SCORE counselors. Harold Rappaporter will be talking about the services SCORE provides. And the Small Business Development Center, you're going to hear from Craig Panos. And they are integrated into our center. They're part of our family, and they are there to you know, help our small businesses get the counseling, you know, financial resources, partners, plans that they need. We're also home to the Maryland Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and this is a counseling service specifically designed for state, federal, and local procurement, and tells you how to navigate those systems as well. So another great resource within the center. And that is a brief commercial on the Maryland Innovation Center. Please contact us if you're interested in learning more. And Jennifer, I'm going to turn it back over to you to introduce Craig Panos and Harold Rappaport.
Okay, thanks, Larry. So we have, as Larry said, we have someone from SCORE and SBDC available to talk to us about the services they provide. Craig, would you like, Craig, you can go first, and then we can turn it over to Harold.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I have a slide deck if Rosa wants to put that up. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Craig Panos, and I'm a business consultant with the Maryland Small Business Development Center. And in case you're not familiar with the Small Business Development Center or the SBDC, we're a valuable resource for business owners throughout the county, throughout the state, and throughout the nation. And we work with businesses in all stages, whether you're a startup, maturing, matured, or exiting. We have a team of business consultants in each county who can help business owners overcome whatever challenges you're facing. And as we know, there are probably a lot today. Our services are brought to you by the Howard County government and the Small Business Administration. So our services to you are free. And just to point out, we are a part of the Howard County ecosystem. Each year, our business consultants provide one-on-one counseling and training classes to over 400 Howard County business owners. And we're proud to say, like MNT, we take a lot of pride in our work with minority-owned businesses. Each year, reliably, 70% of the businesses who come to us for help are minority business owners. Next slide, please. So what areas do business owners typically come to seek help with these days? Well, clearly the PPP loan program and PPP Loan Forgiveness are top of the mind for many business owners, as with the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program that Mike Collins spoke to us about. Those are very important topics. And we work with business owners on other loan programs, seeking the proper lender and preparing to meet with those lenders to present your business in the proper light and to give it the best chances of getting an approved loan. We work with businesses who are recovering from the pandemic. We worked with flood recovery businesses in the past to get back to where you were and even grow and plan to grow into the future. And as you might imagine, that often involves business development, sales and marketing, getting more customers. And these days, that is often involved with planning your online strategy for your business, making sure your website is optimized, your search engine optimized, and making sure you're taking advantage of the proper online marketing platforms, not spending time on low value activities, but using your valuable time to get the best results. If you are a small business, a woman-owned business, or minority-owned business, we can help get certifications that will help you get contracts and work for those types of that are targeted for those types of businesses. If it's a business startup, we can work with the business plan and also develop strategies and budgets how to get started and move forward into a sustainable business mode. For businesses that are interested in obtaining government contracts, we have a special unit that was presented in the last slide, Larry's last slide, the PTAC, and their mission is to help small and emerging businesses obtain government contracts on the federal, state, and local levels. If you're a technology-based business, you have intellectual property, you have a patent, an idea, IP, we help develop strategies for bringing that technology to market and receiving the funding and the marketing support that those ideas need. Retail stores are tough these days, not impossible. We're finding that many of our successful retail stores, we helped them by helping them develop a second stream of income. Usually that means an online presence to backstop their brick and mortar store. Restaurants have had some challenges, but we also have some specialists who can help provide sustainable aspects to restaurant and food service businesses. Next slide. Way to get a hold of the Small Business Development Center. The best way is through our website, which just disappeared, but that'll be on the slide deck that it follows this meeting. And also there are contact information for Brandon Mason and me, who staff the Howard County office. Phone numbers are okay, but we might be on the phone, so email is best. And we hope to hear from many of you to help you move forward successfully in 2020. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. And so our last panelist, Harold from SCORE, is going to give a brief overview about his services before we get to questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. You'll bring up the first slide, Rosa. SCORE is unique amongst the people who are here. All the SCORE members are volunteers. We're a nonprofit organization, and we provide our services, our counseling services, for free because the people who are doing the counseling are not getting paid. And that differentiates us between the other organizations, both good and bad. First of all, there's over 300 chapters, SCORE chapters. The organization is, I think, 53 or 54 years old, and there's something like 11,000 SCORE mentors throughout the country. And the basic underlying concept of SCORE is that with 11,000 members, we have been in most business situations. We have people who've run pet stores, we have people who do music production, and so on, a wide variety. So we are basically experienced business people, and we share our experience with people who come in and looking to go into business themselves. That has an advantage in that we have a wide variety of experience. It has a disadvantage as being a volunteer organization. We're not around 40 hours a week, but sometimes in the pandemic, it seems like it's 60. But we are not as reliable as, we'll say, SBDC in terms of availability. So next slide, please. Okay, what do we do? Okay, we do similar things to all the other people who are mentoring around. We're particularly involved in terms of doing business plans. We do hands-on. A very large percentage of our clients tend to be startup companies. I would guess someplace probably close to 70–75%. We provide workshops. Again, we're using the subject matter expertise of our members, and we do what used to be called workshops. Now we call them webinars. But we are providing area coverage. One of the major issues in COVID times is we've gone to virtual space, which has been very beneficial. One of the biggest problems in terms of doing what we do is no shows. No shows are much less painful in a virtual space. And when we do webinars now, we cover a larger geographic area. In theory, we could do a webinar, and not only in theory, we do webinars across the country. So SCORE National puts on a bunch of high-level webinars using very experienced personnel. And then we come down to our chapter and a region, and we'll do our webinars for large spaces. So the nature of our webinar business has changed. And we provide online resources. If you go to the SCORE.org webpage or the Greater Baltimore SCORE.org, either one, you can get access to, we have blogs, we have webinars that have been recorded. We have, I think, over 2,000 resources sitting on our web pages. So we encourage our members to go there. So if you need those services, and again, we are busier than we've ever been. We actually could use volunteers. So if anybody out there wants to volunteer, we would gladly accept you. But the way to get in touch with us is we have a phone number. Usually it goes into voicemail, but we get back to you within 12 to 24 hours. And it's the 410 number. And the easiest way is to go to the greaterbaltimore.score.org website. You can review what our services are, and you can actually see who our members are, who our mentors are. So that's us.
Thanks, Harold. So now we'll go to Q&A, and I'll start with the first question. I believe this is directed to you, Larry, for with respect to the HoCoRise Grants. So can you just expand on those that are due this Friday? And you mentioned this, but can you mention again where to get the details on how to apply?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is in part state funding, in part county funding. The state funding is directed towards restaurants and hotels. The county funding is directed towards small businesses, fewer than 25 employees, and priority goes to businesses that have not received assistance through the HoCoRise initiative as of yet. We are opening up the eligibility to all types of businesses. Earlier rounds had been targeted towards storefront retail and service companies that were forced to close. But this round of grants has opened up much broader eligibility. The only constraint really is that you have fewer than 25 employees. I can post the link once again into the chat, and that is where you can get access to the applications, just depending on what type of business you are. If you're a restaurant, you'll see the applications are broken down by restaurant, hotel, or other small business.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. And I just want to thank Larry with the EDA, the entire EDA team, the Chamber of Commerce, our Visit Howard County, and Jennifer Jones, who have helped get that out. This is our third round. Our first round really focused on those businesses that were shuttered through no fault of their own. And we had no idea how things were going to unfold at the congressional level, and I appreciate our congressional delegation. Then we moved forward with a second round, expanded it. We were able to see how some industries were having a great deal of trouble. And so now in this third round, now that we're a year into this thing, we have a better sense of the businesses and the industries that are being impacted. And Economic Development Authority has done a phenomenal job of getting the checks out, helping people. In fact, I've even talked to some businesses who do business in other jurisdictions or throughout the region, and they have said that here in Howard County, they've seen the best exemplary efficiency, effectiveness, and customer service. And so I just want to, while Larry, and I hope his team is listening in, are on the line, and Jennifer's here, just want to thank them and their team.
Okay, I have a second
Thank you, Dr.
question.
Ball.
So it's, I think it's a two-parter. So I applied for the first round of the PPP loan in April of 2020. And my bank determined that the calculated loan that could be requested was based on our company's monthly payroll in 2019. However, I hired more employees in the first quarter of 2020. Can we base our calculation for the second round of the PPP loan on our increased payroll in the first quarter of 2020 before the pandemic? So I'll just throw that out to SBA or MNT.
I'll start it, Mikey. You can chime in, but you can provide payroll records from 2019 or 2020. If you have the 940 or the 941 or the W3, you can use those numbers from either year. Any thoughts, Mike?
Mike, you're on mute.
There we go. Sorry. We purposely kind of stay out of getting into the weeds with situations like this, only because I don't have full information. Rosa, what you said sounds like it's probably correct. I would believe that, you know, my recommendation is talk to your lender. So we're going to go with talk to your lender, and we're going to stay out of the details on this one because I don't have full information, and I really don't want to get into you know, SBA said on this. So we're gonna leave that with the lender, and then if we have questions or if you guys need help, Rosie, you can call the PPP hotline, the 833-572-0502, and get a specific answer if you need to.
No, that's great, Mike. I appreciate that. On the infographics that I couldn't find before, it gives you detail on the reporting that you provide, and it's listed right there. So we'll share that with everyone.
Yeah, what you said sounds exactly correct, but I'm going to refrain on, you know, like rendering it a thing because it's just not a good idea. But thank you.
Yeah, we'll get the information. Jennifer, is it okay if we can send you over the infographics and you send it out to all the attendees?
Sure.
Okay, and then I think it looks like that was Michael who had the question. Michael,
Yeah.
if you'd like, we can give either Rosa or myself a call or send us an email, and we can take a look at the documents for you so we can give you a more concrete answer.
Okay, thank you. So the next question, are S corporations with 1 to 2 employees eligible for the PPP if they have not received it earlier? So I don't know if Mike or Deidre, if you want to answer that one.
So I'm going to jump in. It sounds like yes. I mean, if it's a for-profit business, S corp could be, you know, could be either. But yeah, I'm going to say if it's a for-profit business and it meets the criteria, I would say yes. Even though they haven't gone for PPP loan funding, they should be eligible. So.
Yeah, Mike, you're 100% right. You can apply for first draw. I think the only requirement was that you were in business the first quarter of 2020.
Yeah.
So if you meet that and the under 300 employees, you should be fine.
Okay, and this is for Craig. What do you need to do to be eligible for your services for the SBDC services? And also, do you serve nonprofits too?
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Well, the best path to our services is to visit our website, and there is a registration routine on the website. Now, nonprofits, we don't specialize in nonprofits, but if you contact our center, we do have a directory of businesses or organizations that do support both the formation and the governance and the operation of the not-for-profit business.
Craig, we do support nonprofits. Okay, in fact, probably more than half my customers from clients are nonprofits. So if somebody's interested in starting a nonprofit, we can work with them.
Thank you. And so we'll go back to talking a little bit about the Innovation Center. Larry, can you expand a little bit about the companies that are there and how, what the process is for being, incubator company and what you need to do that?
Right. So we have a variety of companies that that are there. There are some nonprofits. There's healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, some product companies, and essentially, you know, we do have limited space, but we look for innovators, and innovation can be, you know, much more broadly interpreted. It doesn't mean you have to have a special app or a special technology. We're looking for innovation in thought or business practice, and you know, in fact, one of our companies, Generosity Global, is a nonprofit who has basically developed a way to help the homeless, and it's just an innovative approach. He's turned tractor trailers into mobile showers, and he takes them around to the inner city, and it's just a great mission. But it's an example of innovating and thinking differently about how to serve that community. I'll put a link into the chat. There's a lot of ways to engage. You can just become a member of the network. We call it the Circle. You can become an affiliate where you get to use the space and the services that we provide. There's also a resident application as well if you need an office space, you know, for your business. And we have a review process because it is fairly competitive. But if you are, you know, the right fit for the center, and we have a spot for you, you know, physical office space, that works too. So I'll put that link into the center, and we'll get you started.
Thanks, Larry. And I know I got another question there. I know that there are county executives mentioned before that we started with targeted industries that were closed and that we expanded to other industries. So I don't know if the county executive or, you know, Larry wanted to just talk about maybe what other industries you might be looking at if we get future funding.
So I think right now, you know, I know that none of the CARES Act funding and the support from the federal, state, or local government has been enough to ensure that all businesses are held harmless. And so there will be a road to recovery. We have a lot of work to do. Right now, a lot of our focus is, as Larry indicated, businesses that hadn't previously gotten support through our HoCoRise Grants. And many of the industries are home-based, because our first focus, of course, were a lot of the ones who had to shutter and were frontward facing. So I think we're going to continue to expand. We're going to look at how industries are coming back. Some are going to snap back a little bit more quickly. Some are going to be able to innovate and really change how they do business, and, you know, make more face masks or the vials for, you know, vaccine. And so they're going to be in a different place, or how we do things virtually like this. Others, like our hotel industry, our tourism industry, might take a little bit longer. And so I think we're going to remain nimble, and we're going to remain supportive, and we're going to really help our diverse industries across Howard County.
Thanks, County Executive. For the PPP, do you need to use the funds immediately when loaned, or can it be spread out to later in the 24 weeks time frame if need is anticipated later in the year? So
you can use it during any time during that covered period, which goes up to the 24 weeks. So you don't have to use it like the day that it's advanced, but you can use it throughout that time frame.
Thank you. Okay, if a business has taken a first and second draw loan, will the forgiveness for the second loan include the time frame of the first draw?
I don't think so. I think those are separate forgiveness applications and time periods. What you borrowed in the first is used during that covered period and applied for forgiveness, and and likewise for the second. Mike, do you agree?
Again, Rosa, that sounds exactly correct. I haven't run into that question, so that's a great question. I don't believe they're combining forgiveness applications. That would probably lead to a lot of confusion, but I haven't had that question before, so I'm going to say call your lender. Oh, look, there she is.
And so Deidre and Rosa, I wanted to, if you guys could just go into a little bit more about how anybody on this call or anywhere else can kind of contact M&T Bank and what the process is for applying for a loan.
Yeah, Deidre said it great. I mean, at this point, you have the ability to both go online or go into a branch and open an account and apply for the PPP loan at the same time. So unlike the first where you had to be an M&T customer, now you can go in and open an account and apply for the PPP loan either in a branch or online. Is that right, teacher? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, it's a pretty easy process. First, I think you might have to mute so people can hear, just because I know there's a lot of background noise. Thank you.
Yeah, can we? Yeah, thank you.
I think that's better. Thank you. Yeah, so we can go right online. We can, again, I did put a link in here, and it links to a video, a really quick and easy video. It's about 10 minutes that gives you just a really quick visual of how you're going to go through the process, the documents that you're going to prepare, and then the link on how you would go in and upload everything for the system. So it's a really quick and easy process, or can be a quick and easy process. We'll also send over the infographics for both the first draw as well as the second draw. And yeah, if you have an account, it's pretty easy because you can just go in there and do it. If you don't have an account, you just have to get an account opened. Now we have the two options of either going into a branch or doing it straight online, and you do everything at the same time. So yeah, we're here to help and support as much as we can. I'm just really excited for us to be on the call with so many different resources, because that was the whole goal in us creating our team about 1.5 years ago, is really to create that ecosystem. And just about everybody that talked today, Craig, Larry, and Harold, as well as Jennifer and Dr. Ball, all talked about the different resources that are available to help small businesses. And in particular, we are seeing a lot more businesses of color and businesses owned by women that are coming to get these services. So please, please, please take down everyone's information. We'll make sure everything gets sent out. But these resources are here to support you along your journey, from getting access to capital, getting mentorship, helping with networking, understanding the process to get certified, just so you can have a better experience, because we know going the journey alone is very difficult. So if you have a support system to help you, it just makes it so much easier to be successful, especially these days. So please take advantage of all the great resources here.
And if I can just chime in on that, I've been so proud of the work, not only that these panelists have been doing throughout our county and state and region, but also our EDA, tourism, and chamber. Those HoCoRise grants, similar to what Ms. Miller was just saying, they really targeted the smallest of the small businesses, and many of the grant recipients were businesses run by women and people of color throughout all of Howard County. Whereas we saw, especially the first round of PPE, a lot of the largest businesses sucked up that money. So this team is here to help you. They are brilliant and they are knowledgeable. And so please tap into this experience right now.
That's great. So we have time for one more question, and then Dr. Ball, I don't know if you want to give some closing remarks. But this last question is, I'm a sole proprietor. I have no employees. Am I still eligible? And if you could just comment on that, just because I think we keep getting this question and people I just want to make it clear. And then also what other entities are available eligible this time that weren't last time. So that can go to anybody that.
Jennifer, I'll jump in just as far as the HoCoRise grants are concerned. Yes, sole proprietors are eligible. They were excluded from many of the earlier programs that were put out, at the state and federal level. So we made sure that the HoCoRise grants were, covered sole proprietors. So definitely, apply for it.
And then with respect to the PPP loans, could someone speak to that?
So the self-employed and 1099 can apply for PPP loans. That's actually part of the new rules that we're to get the guidance on the exact calculation, because they've been able to apply, but it's the calculation is going to change. So self-employed with no employees or a 1099 contractor can, and again, that's where we should get guidance on that, and we'll share it with you, Jennifer, as soon as we get it. And the other eligible, I mean, for-profit business and then the not-for-profit business are also eligible.
Okay, and then one last
This
question.
is Craig real fast. I believe that the sole proprietors and the single operators are now qualified for PPP loans based on line 7 of their Schedule C instead of line 31. So based on their gross revenue, which means they're eligible for a much, much larger amount. So it's a good time for them to apply.
Right. Thank you, Craig. There, I was going to jump in and make those comments. So that's one of the changes. Another, these aren't carved in stone yet. So, you know, we're anticipating a number of other changes, including information surrounding citizenship. That's going to be immigration status is going to be another potential change, which will be really significant. And then I think the third one, you know what, I'm going to wait till the guidance comes out because I don't want to put, but Craig is right. That is definitely one of the changes we are expecting guidance on, and that's what they mentioned to us in the call last week, that came straight from the White House. So we expect to get guidance on that very soon. We don't have it yet. I did want to just jump in real quick before we wrap up and thank everyone, Dr. Ball and everyone at Howard County. This is not the first time that Howard County has been ahead of the curve in terms of being there to fund businesses when they were in, you know, an economic disaster. The back-to-back 1,000-year flood situation we had a couple years ago, before we could get our SBA office stood up, Howard County was there to take care of business, and they were there to front run a lot of the loans that we were not there to fill yet because we couldn't get our operation stood up that quickly. So they've done it time and time again. We've seen it over and over again. And any business that's operating in Howard County, consider yourself fortunate, because I work the entire state, and I can tell you that a lot of other counties do not operate this way. It's very nice to see. So hats off to Howard County.
Okay, thanks, Mike. And then one last question. Are the loans exclusively for payroll? So I just want to make sure can someone answer that one before we wrap?
So you can use, there are mostly for payroll, right? A certain percentage of the loan, in order to be forgiven, has to be used for payroll. And then there are some specific other buckets in terms of utilities or expenses or health insurance, other payroll expenses. And that's on the slide on the show, that the link that Petra included, as well as the infographics, the specific purposes. But when you apply for forgiveness, a certain percentage of it has to be used for payroll in order to get that forgiven.
Thanks, Rosa. So thank you all the panelists. You guys are great, and I love working with you guys. This has been great. So and this is like, we'll continue this partnership. So I'm just going to turn this over to Dr. Ball for closing remarks.
I echo Jennifer Jones's comments. You all who are watching didn't come to hear me talk. So thank you all, and also thank Jennifer.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.